board 10. Gavin and Steve, once again, you're going to be on defense on this board. Can you go ahead and take us through the East-West auction?
Yeah, I mean the same one club could be short, and one diamond showing 4 more hearts. Their one heart bid showed a weak no trump with a balanced 11 to 13 point without 4 card support. And 3 hearts, which was a clever system bid, tells partner to bid 3-0. You know, they didn't have stoppers and clubs or spades, so they know they don't have an 8-card fit, so they bid 3 hearts and they play that to transfer to 3-0, and their partner bid 3-0.
Very interesting. What do you think about the one club opening bid?
I like it.
I like it. I like it too. Yeah.
Because all the values are concentrated, I think it makes it very, very reasonable.
Plus, you're gonna get to bid both your suits. So it's not like you're gonna open one of them and rebid one. No, you get to bid a club then a spade. I mean, well, maybe not in their. I don't know if they showed 11 to 13. So for them, it's just they just open that range. But in standard, I would open because it's concentration, and I like that it's spades and clubs.
Okay. Steve, you want to tell us about your opening lead choice?
Yeah, well, it's tempting to lead the queen of diamonds, but then I have to catch my partner probably with a 5-card diamond suit and a card in diamonds, and them not being able to hold up. And one club isn't natural, so it seemed best to just go after my 5-card suit. So I lit an attitude 4 of clubs. We don't play 4th best because I wasn't convinced I wanted to lead. The deuce is just keep on playing clubs no matter what, and I wanted to have some flexibility.
I see. Okay. So Declare won the queen and went after hearts.
Well, Declare made a great play at trick 1. The great technical 9 and the catch Steve sleeping 9 at the same time.
Okay, so I'm back to trick 1.
Because if I have King Jack 10, he wants to play the 9. And also, it turned out that I just absolutely fell asleep that he played the 9, and that comes back to haunt me later.
So the clever 9 play at trick 1. Very interesting. In case you have King Jack 10, or in case you forget that the 9 was played. All right, I like it. Great play. So then Declare played a heart. And now at trick 3, we get to see the result of that diabolical 9.
Yeah, that was one of the poorest plays I can remember making in a long time, was not overtaking and claiming down 1. So
I see.
Glad to see this. Watching the spots is it's kind of funny because I did miss the 9 of clubs spot, and then I got an email later this day about somebody asking me about watching the spots, and I assumed it was a friend of mine playing a joke on me, but it was actually an innocent question. So I was glad I answered it.
It was really funny because he talked to all of us. He's like, all right, which one of you is behind this? And I'm like, I was with my family. I had nothing to do with it. We all went back, and finally he sends us all an email like, all right, screw it. If this is one of you, then I hate you. And he replied with a nice, genuine email for it. It's just too bad it wasn't one of us to give him a good response.
I mean, I really thought Greg Humphreys was the most likely candidate because it had an India email address on it, and it just seemed like something that he would do. So I refused to respond until he declared that he didn't do it.
Okay, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, at this point, then I definitely made a play that cost us the defense as well. I was thinking about which spade to play back. I knew that this could happen if I played the jack. That obviously, if Declare had King Queen 9, that I was screwing the suit up. And I also thought of some positions where see what would happen is now Declare could finesse me out of the 10, whereas if I just led the 4 back, Declare would still. There's no way Declare would put in the 9. For a couple of reasons. One, that he wouldn't believe that Steve didn't force out the ace of clubs, so he would have just assumed I had the ace. And the other is because, it's just weird to put in the 9. It's just normal to play the king. And, sorry, I wanted to get that dig in there. Just, I didn't have to say that, but it was yeah. So, but now when I'm deciding what to play, I felt like there were some times when if I led the 4 of spades back that if Declare had something like ace queen no 9 that they would just play low and Steve would win it might win the 9 from King 9 third and play one back into declare. And that was what I was afraid of, and I probably didn't think it through, but I felt bad afterwards about not leading the 4 back.
Yeah, I like the 4 back, but I can't really blame you on this one.
So maybe it seems odd, but it sort of occurred to me that from Jack 10-4, maybe you lead the 4, and from Jack third, you play the Jack to try to create 2 entries. And I see that Steve continued spades, and so now declare didn't have a guess later in spades.
So yeah, from Jack third, I don't think that I would be playing the Jack back because I don't know that Steve's got the club position, right? So I'm going to be worried that if I play the Jack back, that I might freeze the spade suit.
I
see. If declare had, even if let's say it's the suit is the way it is, and it just gives Steve the 10 and me the 5, for instance. I'm now making it so that Steve and take away one of Steve's club spots. Sorry, and
Okay. So now Declare has picked up the spade suit, so we'll go more quickly through the play. Gave up a heart. Claimed the balance.
Yeah,
Okay.
very sad minus 600 for our side.
Very sad minus 600 for your side. Any more comments on this board before I go to the play at Ari's? And
I'd love to get this board off the screen as fast as possible.
Gone. Okay. Let's start with Eugene this time. Eugene, could you go ahead and take us through your auction?
Yeah, certainly. So I did not open this balanced 11 count because our style is not to rebid 1 spade over 1 club past 1 red with 4-4 in the 2 black suits. So I felt that would be better to pass and try to come back in later. So I passed, and then South passed, and Ari opened 1 diamond. Ari, you want to talk about your opening?
Well, I mean, we do play 1-0 as a good fortune to 17, but this didn't exactly look like a hand that I wanted to go out of my way to take the no trump. So 1 diamond looked pretty normal.
Okay, and then it went pass 1 spade by me, pass 2 spades by Ari.
And as far as raising the 2 spades, again, like it just looked like a hand that was very suit oriented, and I still didn't want to declare the no trump and get a club lead through me. So I thought 2 spades it just felt like it was going to lead to a better result, than 1-0.
At this point, I had a close decision on whether to invite or not because my partner was a 3rd seed opener. And, well, unfortunately, I mean, we were vulnerable at Imps, and I don't like missing vulnerable games, so I made it, yeah, yes?
Just to interject, the fact that partner you're a passed hand makes it clear-cut for you to invite because the partner's allowed to pass 1 spade.
That's right. Sorry, I forgot about that.
Right, yes. Right. So because the 2 spade bid has much more meaning when your partner's a passed hand because partner with 3-card support or even 4-card support in a bad hand will pass the 1 spade response.
Right. Okay, and then I bid 2 no trump inviting to game, and Ari, of course, accepted. With we do not play spiral cupids or any spiral raises. We just play a very naturalish system where 2 no trump just says I have a 4-card spade suit and an invitational hand, and you can place the contract. So Ari bid 3 no, and there we were.
Very good. And you received the 2 of clubs lead. Were they also playing attitude, or was this a false card, or do you know?
It was an attitude lead. I looked specifically as declarer. So I thought about it and also put up the 9 as the technically correct play. 10 queen. And
correct.
And at this point, I have a difficult decision on what to do here because I thought about playing hearts, like as the declare at the other table, but that would put the wrong hand on lead. I really did not want to see another club led by North while the spade ace was still out. And it looked to me that the defense did not have very many top tricks. So if they were going to beat this contract, they would probably have to run a suit, and the most likely suit was the club suit, given that they had attacked that suit on the opening lead. So then I decided it was right to attack spades first, not hearts or diamonds. And I decided, I think I got a little too clever here. At this point, I led a diamond to the board to attack spades. I was sort of thinking that the ace king 10 of diamonds would sort of freeze the suit in many situations when the defenders, when they don't have the queen jack of diamonds together, they're going to be very scared of leading the suit, especially since it's also the first suit I led. But upon reflect, and also I wanted to keep the ace king 10 9 of hearts position the same, so that later I could just take 2 finesses into north after I've knocked out the ace of spades, perhaps. But upon reflection, it might be better to cross in hearts, because I do have another way to pick up a heart trick on this hand, which is to just take the first 2 hearts, and as long as hearts are 3-3 or there's a doubleton quack, I can build another heart trick that way. I just was blinded by the 10-9 into taking 2 finesses, thinking of that being the optimal way to play the heart suit. So anyway, I did cross in diamonds, and I led a spade towards the king-queen. I was planning to play the queen, and then North surprised me by jumping up with the jack of spades. I didn't think about this too much, and I played the queen, and then that drove the ace. And then South continued clubs after some thought. At this point, I ducked it because I still wasn't sure what the club break was, and I felt at this point that with the jack of spades showing up in the first round, I could probably play the spades for 2 tricks. So with 2 spades, 2 hearts, 2 diamonds, 2 clubs, and hopefully I could get a 9th trick from either hearts or spades. So then North didn't know what to do and returned the 10 of spades. And at this point, I have 9 tricks. I then tried to build a 10th trick by ducking a heart, but there was no 10th trick to be had.
Okay, so I'll just go through the play rather quickly then. So I was sort of curious, if North ducks the spade, are you likely to actually make the hand, given that both hearts are offside? Or what's the end position going to look like?
It seems like the best is for it to go spade, North ducks, and South ducks, which is a pretty reasonable play. If North did play a low spade, it'd be pretty reasonable for South to duck it also, and that's going to make the hand very difficult for Eugene.
Interesting. Then he's going to have to commit in one of the red suits before knocking out the ace of spades.
Yeah, I mean, very often when they attack, when you have ace third in a suit like this, it's very often to duck the first one because it messes up their communications and they might misguess later who has the ace. So just if you had to go, do I win it or do I duck it, and you couldn't work it out either way, I would say instinctively it's good to duck it.
Okay.
That's in no trump, yeah.
Yeah, we are defending 3 now.
Yeah.
Well, we have quite an exciting little push here, and the match remains 26-8 in favor of the Bridge Winners team.